The India Pavilion at the COP28 summit in Dubai, showcasing India's climate action. Prime Minister Modi has an action-packed agenda in Dubai. He will take forward India's emphasis on climate action and climate justice. Apart from his address at the opening session, Prime Minister Modi will also participate in three high-level side events, two of which are being co-hosted by India.
The first high-level event, which is being co-hosted by India and the UAE, is the launch of Green Credits Initiative. The Green Credits Initiative is based on the Green Credit Program and basically envisions the issue of green credits for plantations on waste and degraded lands and the river catchment areas in order to restore their vitality.
The second side event, co-hosted by India and Sweden, is the launch of Lead IT 2.0, essentially a leadership group for industry transition. This joint initiative was launched in 2019 at the UN Climate Action Summit in New York. It fosters collaboration among the decision makers, bringing together both the public sector and the private sector with the objective of accelerating the industry transition to net zero emissions, essentially from heavy industries. On the agenda at the COP28 are fast-tracking energy transition, fixing climate finance, climate financing strategies, as well as loss and damage compensation.
We have always been interested in finding a successful outcome on operationalizing the loss and damage fund. We think this will be of great benefit to the developing countries by providing them with potentially a new source of financial support to address the loss and damage aspect related to this.
Among the sticky issues that India will look to defend at COP28 are the phasing out of fossil fuels, especially coal, and curbing methane emissions. The latter is linked to agricultural practices including rice cultivation. India maintains coal is and will remain an important part of India's energy mix as it moves ahead with its developmental priorities. India will also continue to stress on the Global South view on climate finance and justice.
As this summit begins in the shadow of continuous global conflict, the experts believe that the leaders who are attending this summit will now take action to achieve the environmental goals set in the summit. At COP28 summit in Dubai, Mohammad Ghazali for NDTV.
To deliver what was promised in Sharm el-Sheikh, the fact that we've been able to activate, operationalize, and pass the threshold that have been associated with the establishment with this fund is historic and is a unique, unprecedented achievement.
And well, Mohammad Ghazali is now joining us live from Dubai. So Ghazali, the Prime Minister there in Dubai as well. What really are India's key priorities? And the messaging here is of course very clear.
See, the first major victory for developing countries, including India, was the acceptance of loss and damage fund. The loss and damage fund, which generally means that the developed countries will now pledge support, give financial support to the developing countries who are battling out to control the green gas emissions, as well as to work towards a better climate. So that is one major, you can say, achievement of the developing countries, including India. Now for India, the major challenges would be again the green gas emissions, including methane emissions, which have been talked about during the rice cultivation, as well as the less dependence on non-renewable energy of sources of energy like the coal. So India banks on the thermal power plants, and it has been called out for phasing out the coal as a source of energy for power generation. But India has also said in the last summit in COP27, which was held in Sharm el-Sheikh, that if you want to phase out the non-renewable source of energy, just don't focus on coal, but also include the entire sources of the non-renewable source of energy. So that was one big victory for India when the final statement was issued in COP27. Now, again, the similar issues will be addressed here, that how to control the global warming. That limit of global warming is something for which this entire summit is being held every year. So reassessment of what was promised in the last summit Also, India is also trying to sort of stitch a global biofuel alliance. This was done in G20 when Prime Minister Narendra Modi had spoken about it. India, Brazil, and United States are part of that alliance. Maybe we will see an expansion of that alliance, and many other countries would be joining it.
Right.
Besides that, India is also going to have some bilateral talks with other countries who are participating here. So we should expect Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold bilateral talks with other nations on the sidelines of COP28 event.